Item 8C, the 2021-22 SALT agreement with Waukesha County. This is pretty standard. We've been doing this for quite some time. Essentially, we're putting in an order to set aside 1,600 tons of salt. The rate this year is $85.05 per ton, and then we pay a handling charge of $10 per ton. This is very advantageous to us as we only pay for what we use, and this has worked out very well for us until we get salt storage. So that's in your packet. I think it's pretty straightforward.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2021-2022 season salt agreement.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from trustee German and a second from trustee Gurecki. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Item 8D, temporary Class B retailer license for Kiwanis Club of Waukesha on September 25th and September 26th, 2021. I believe the information is in your packet for an event, fall event at Piala's that has gone on for a number of years.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary Class B retailer's license for Kiwanis Club.
I'll second.
A motion from trustee German and a second from trustee Kalinsky. Any further discussion?
Mr. Clerk,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, have you done your due diligence on the applicant?
Yep, and we just did one for them early July, they put for the same type of thing, so.
It's Kiwanis, you know.
Yes.
Gotta keep an eye on it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. And in conjunction with that, item 8E, operator license for Katie Campbell.
Background check is completed, all's go, she paid the fee, I'd recommend approval.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the operator's license for Katie Campbell.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by trustee Stigler and a second by trustee, Gurecki. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion passes. Item 8F, this is hand in hand with F and G. Item 8F is to authorize a waiver of village attorney conflict of villages of Waukesha and Vernon pursuant to the agreement to provide paramedic advanced life support and EMS services. This is necessary because the law firm of Municipal Law and Litigation represents both Vernon and us. Vernon needed to approve the same waiver, and they did so last Wednesday. So I just need a motion to approve the waiver of conflict, and that pertains to item 8G.
I'll move to approve the waiver of conflict of interest for Attorney Macy.
Is that FNG?
No, we're just approving the waiver at this point.
You mentioned G.
Well, it's related to G.
Okay.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by trustee Gurecki and a second by trustee German. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion passes. All right, moving on to item G. So this has long been discussed a couple of times anyway at the board level, and we finally have an agreement on paper. This agreement is essentially to allow the village of Vernon to bill at the village of Waukesha rates. The intention of the agreement is for that to occur when a village of Vernon paramedic transports to the hospital in the Village of Waukesha or Village of Vernon ambulance. I had some concerns when I read the agreement with item 5, in particular 5B. Item 5 reads, the Village of Waukesha agrees to pay the Village of Vernon as follows: to pay for each patient treated under this agreement by the village, or by the Vernon Fire Department. I had concerns about that wording, in that treating is much more than transport, and my understanding was that we were only talking about transport. I had a couple of emails back and forth with President Fortner from down in Vernon. This has already been approved by them, but he didn't see any problem with us changing it to more specifically reference only when transport, and then they would just reapprove it with the modified wording at their next meeting. So if somebody would like to make a motion, I would like that motion to include that item 5B would read as follows: to pay for each patient where the Vernon Fire Department paramedic accompanies the patient to the hospital via the Vernon or Waukesha Fire Department ambulance. I think that properly reflects what was talked about in the past. Go ahead, Chief, you got something to add?
Yeah. The other thing that was maybe a little confusing in that agreement is they often reference just Waukesha Fire Department. And I think you ought to insert the word village in front of all of those, because the city of Waukesha, that's how they address themselves, as Waukesha Fire Department. So I would suggest you add the word village wherever it's missing.
Thank you.
Your concern, Mr. President, was if there was more than one person at the scene, say 3 or 4, and they were treating.
No, my concern is that if they would treat at the scene and not transport with us or for them,
Okay,
then that wouldn't be billed.
okay.
And my understanding was they wanted to just bill when they participated in transport, so this better defines that, I think. And I have the email, I got it late. I can share it with you from President Fortner. Let me do that. So this was just from early this afternoon. I had wrote him, I said, Carl, in reviewing the paramedic agreement, I have a concern on the following, and then I just quoted item 5B. I said, my understanding of the agreement was for the Village of Vernon to bill when the village paramedic participates in transport, whether in our ambulance or yours. As I understand the agreement is written, Vernon would bill any time treatment is rendered. Also, I've asked Attorney Macy to review the following our approval and our waiver on Thursday. And his response back was, I have no problem clarifying. Vernon will only invoice patients when Vernon Fire Department is transporting, or if Waukesha Fire Department is transporting and one or more Vernon Fire Department personnel are participating in the transport. Vernon will need to reapprove the agreement with the clarifying language. I don't anticipate that being an issue. So that was the email.
I'll make a motion to approve 5B with those changes to the agreement with Village of Waukesha and Village of Vernon, also putting village in front of Waukesha and the entire form.
I'll second that motion.
Right. I have a motion from Trustee German and a second by Trustee Gurecki. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes, and that will be also passed with legal review, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.